Joanna, and today we're going to do a tap class that is suitable for absolute beginners, and the session is appropriate for teenagers and adults. Tap dancing is a great way of keeping fit, and also it's a lot of fun to do. For the session today, if you do have a pair of tap shoes, then that's ideal, but if you don't, then just a pair of sturdy shoes that won't fall off your feet is fine. Before we begin, please check that the space around you is clear of any obstacles. One of the most important things to consider for tap dancing is the flooring that you're on. Please make sure that your flooring isn't slippy and also that it won't scratch. If you're struggling for flooring, then a piece of thick unvarnished plywood is great. Please remember, don't push beyond your capabilities, only do what you know is safe for you, and if you're unsure, then please speak to your doctor or medical professional. Remember that you can pause the video at any point to take a break. I really hope that you enjoy this introduction to tap dancing. Now we're going to do a warm-up, so it's a nice easy warm-up to follow along with. We're just going to start with our feet together, doing some nice big bend stretches using our arms. And then we'll shake our arms, just get our arms moving, and then we're going to shake our legs, keeping our legs nice and soft. And then we'll finish off with some bounces, so just on the balls of your feet, and we want to really keep our knees nice and bent while we're doing those jumps. Let's go with some music. Okay, so we're going to bend and stretch, and bend and stretch, bend and stretch, bend and stretch. Now shake your hands. Now your legs. Shake your foot, and shake, and shake, and shake. Little jumps, and a bounce, and a bounce, and a bounce. Keep on the balls of your feet. Same again, bend and a stretch, bend and stretch, bend and stretch. Now shake your hands. Shake your hands, shake, and shake. Now your legs. Now we're going to jump, and a 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 jump, 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 jump. Posture in a tap class is very different to other styles of dancing such as ballet. In ballet it's very lifted, whereas in tap we're feeling very grounded and we have our knees nice and soft all the time. To find this posture, I want you to just put your feet together. You're going to bend your knees, and from your hips, keeping your back nice and straight, you're just going to lean forwards. It's important that you do keep a straight back in this position. Now I want you to imagine that just in front of you on the floor is a little puddle, and you're just looking at your reflection in that puddle. From there, you're going to tuck your seat under and engage your core muscles, and then you're going to lift up your head. And that is your basic tap posture. So we really have our weight a lot further forward. Your weight is over the balls of your feet. So we've got our shoulders, our knees, and our feet all quite far forwards. And we've got nice bent knees as well. There are lots of different styles of tap dancing. Some tap dancers actually refer to themselves as musicians. They're completely innovative with the different ways how they're using the tap shoes and the different rhythms that they're creating. If I just give you a brief overview of the tap shoe to begin with. So there's a toe plate and there's a heel plate, and there's lots of different combinations that we can use these in. So we can use the whole of the foot, which is using your toe and your heel plate together. We can use just the toe plate, we can use the whole of the toe plate, we could use the side of the toe plate. For the heel plate, we can also use the whole of the heel plate, or we could use the end of the heel plate. There's even different options, such as using the tip of our shoe, and even the side of our shoe. The possibilities of different ways for us to use our shoes are endless. We're now going to do a second warm-up. This will be referred to more as a close work warm-up. Close work is small, fast, intricate steps done really underneath the body. They can travel a little bit, but it's very fast, rhythmical work. Just thinking about your posture to begin with, so bending your knees, keeping your weight forwards, and we're going to begin by learning a ball beat. So your heel is going to stay on the floor, your toe is going to lift, and then your toe is going to come back down onto the floor. Now, as it comes back down onto the floor, we want to have a softening of your knees. We want our knees to stay nice and bouncy all the time. So every time we make a ball beat, our knees are bending and bend and bend and bend and bend and bend and bend and bend. So my heels are staying in contact with the floor all the time. We're going to have a go now at some heel beats. So it's the opposite. So this time your toe is going to stay in contact with the floor, and it's going to be your heel that's going to go down and bend. So I'm still bending my knees. I'm bending, bend, 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 bend. It's a little bit more difficult doing your heel beats. What we want is that your toes are staying relaxed along the floor and that you're getting a crease in your shoes. Bend, 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 bend. So we're just going to mix these together now into a close-up warm-up. We're going to start nice and slowly, and then we'll start getting a little bit faster with the music. Bend your knees and toes, toes. Bend your knees, soft knees. Let your arms relax. And now we're going to use our heels, heels, heels. Bend your knees, bend, and bend, and bend, and bend, and bend. Now we're going to go quicker, and the toes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now your heels, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and your heels, 2, 3, 4. Now we toes in 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Don't forget that you can repeat any of these exercises, also starting with the other leg. So for our next exercise, we're going to start off with a step called a shuffle. A shuffle is a really important step to a tap dancer. It is a forwards and backwards brush. Now we only use our toe plate in this movement. We don't want our heel to come into contact with the floor at all. I'm going to demonstrate it. It's quite a big movement first of all, just so you can really clearly see the action, and then we're going to shrink it down. So starting with your feet together, a shuffle always starts at the back, and it's really important to remember that. So you're going to lift your foot up at the back, just using your toe plate. It's going to brush forwards, and it's going to brush backwards, and then we're going to put our feet together. I'll give that a go with the other foot. So I'm going to pick it up at the back. I'm brushing my foot forwards and backwards and putting it down. I'm going to now shrink down the size of that step. What starts to happen then is that instead of the movement coming more from our knee, the ankle starts to come into work a lot more. So, knees nice and bent. What we're really thinking of is the ankle movement. If you just lift up your foot and you're just going to tap your toe plate on the floor, just using your ankle, knees nice and soft. So we're just going tap, 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 tap. So it's just your ankle. Now, if we add in the action of the knee along with that ankle movement, that's when we have a beautiful shuffle action. So lifting your foot slightly backwards, we're going forwards, backwards, down. Lift your foot up at the back, forwards, backwards, down. Nice soft knees. Forwards, backwards, down. If you think of the shape of your foot as making like a U shape. And we'll go again. Forwards, backwards, down. Forwards, backwards, down. So we're going to start off and do a shuffle exercise, but we're going to do it really slowly to begin with, and we're going to gradually start to build up the speed within the music. So feet together, hands by your sides, and just going into your tap posture. Okay, so feet together. together, bending your knees, lift up your foot. And forwards, and backwards, and down, soft knees. Lift it up, forwards, and backwards, and down. Same again. And forwards, and backwards, and down. And one more, forwards, and backwards, and down. We're going to go faster. And forwards, backwards, down. Forwards, backwards, down. Keeping just your toe plate touching the floor. Now quicker. Shuffle, join. Forwards, backwards, down. Push, push, 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 down. We're now going to move on to a step called a crawl. So we're going to learn it in its most basic form today. So, feet together, knees nice and bent. We're still thinking about our posture. We've still got our weight forward, and our knees, we've still got this nice rebound in our knees. It's a little bit like the way how we were using our balls and heels in the second warm-up that we did in our close-up warm-up. So your toes are going to stay stuck on the floor, and your heels are going to make a heel beat. But as they do, they're going to twist to the side. So heels are going to go first. We're going to twist. And then your toes are then going to twist to the side, but your heels are going to stay stuck on the floor. And twist, keeping your knees nice and bent. And then we're going to twist our heels again. And then we're going to twist our toes again. Let me just move back again and then we can go again. So knees nice and bent. So knees bent. Heels, toes, heels, toes. So we're going to do 4 crawls, but on the 4th one, instead of twisting your feet, we're going to bring our last one to have our feet straight forwards. So I'll do that again. So I'm bending my knees. Every time I lower my heels or my toes, I'm letting my knees just bend that little bit more. Bend and twist and twist and straight. From here, we're going to turn our toes outwards. So we're going to use our right foot first. Out, out. So into first position. And then we're going to bring our feet back into parallel again. Right, left. So I'll just do that again. So I'm going out, out, in. And you'll notice that every time I'm making a ball beat, my knees are bending. Bend, 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 bend. Now we can go the other way. Heels are going to lead first in your crawl. Heels, toes, heels, bring your feet straight to the front. Left leg first. Out, out, in, out, out, in. Crawl, heels, toes, heels, straight. Right leg, out, out, in, out, out, in, heels, toes, heels, straight. Left leg, out, out, in, out, out, in. So all the time we have a rebound in our knees. Let's give it a go with the music. Bend your knees and heels and toes and twist. Now feet straight. Right leg out, out, in, out, in, heels and twist and heels and straight. Left leg out, out, in, out, in, heels and toes and heels and straight. Right foot out, out, in, out, in, heels and toes and heels and toes. Out, out, in, out, in. We're now going to learn a step called a paddle. Sometimes a paddle can be called a paradiddle. Paradiddles is also a name used for a rhythm that drummers can use. There's a lot of names that we have for tap steps that are also names of rhythms that drummers use. It's quite useful to call a step a paradiddle when we're first of all learning it. So I'm going to refer to it as a paradiddle now for the rest of this exercise, but just be aware that they can be called paddles as well. So I'm going to start with my feet together, thinking of our tap posture. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a heel dig. So a heel dig, your heel, the edge of your heel plate is going to come into contact with the floor at the side of your other big toe. So that's the first count. It takes 4 counts to do a paradiddle. Pa-ra-di-ddle. So this is the pa part of a paradiddle. So it's your heel dig. This is probably the most difficult part now because we're going to do a step called a pickup. A pickup is where the ball of your foot is smacking the floor whereabouts your heel has just been. So it's going to wipe backwards and your toe is going to hit the floor. So that's the pa and the r part of the paradiddle learnt. So we start off with our heel dig, pa, and then we go into the pickup, r. From here, you're just going to put the ball of your foot back down on the floor, on a step, and then we're going to finish off with a heel beat. And those are the 4 counts of a paradiddle. Heel dig, pick up, step, heel beat. I'll go with the other leg. So it's pa, ra, di, dull. Heel, pick up, toe, heel. We still want to use our toes and our heels in the same way how we were in the close work warm-up, where we have our toes relaxed and we've got a nice crease across our shoes, and then we can lower our heels. Again, my knees are still staying very soft and relaxed as I do my pa, ra, di, dull. Pa, ra, di, dull. As you're lowering your heel down, imagine if you had a marshmallow underneath your heel. So I'm going heel, pick up, toe, and it's squishing down. Heel, pick up, toe, heel. Heel, pick up, toe, heel. Heel, pick up, toe, heel. And that is your paradiddle. We'll do it nice and slowly and then we'll build up a little bit of speed with the music. And bending your knees, so heel dig and heel. Pick up, balls, heels, heel. Pick up, then your toes, then your heels. Pa, ra, di, dull, heel. Pick up, toe. Let's go faster. Heel, pick up, toe, heel, heel. Pick up, toe, heel. We're now moving on to a travelling step. So carefully consider your space that you're doing this exercise in. You can go around in a circle, you could travel along the diagonal of your room. I'm going to travel in a figure of 8 on my tap board. We're going to start off by learning a step which is using your toe plate and your heel plate. So we're going to start off with our feet together. We're going to go with the ball of our foot and we're going to do a step. Now we really want to crease that shoe and want to have our weight forward, but it's important to notice that your heel of your back foot is still on the floor. Then we're going to put our heel down and then we're going to go with the other leg. Our toes, then our heels. Our toes, then our heels. So I'll go again. So I'm going toe, heels. My toes, then my heels. Step, heel, step, heel. We can also reverse that the other way round, so we can lead with our heels. So I'm going to go heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes. Again, I'm still keeping my knees nice and bent. I'll do that again. So I'm putting down my heel. Again, my heel stays on the floor. And then my toe is going to come down onto the floor as I bend my knees. Heels, toes, heels, toes. So we're going to do an exercise now, mixing those two different versions together. We'll do them nice and slowly and then do combinations of the two together. Bending your knees. So we're going to go with our toes and heels, and toes, and heels, toes, and heels. Nice soft knees. With your toes. Toe, heel, toe, heel. Now let's go with our heels. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Now we're going to go quick with our toes. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Now with your heels. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Now let's combine them. Toe, heel, toe, heel, heel, toe, heel, toe, toe, heel, toe, heel, heel, toe, heel, toe, toe, heel, toe, heel, heel, toe, heel, toe, toe, heel, toe, heel, heel, toe, heel, toe. To finish with, we're going to build up to learn a step called a time step. Now what we're doing this week does seem a little strange when it's done on its own, but it is a core part of your time step, which we will build up over the next few weeks. So what we need to understand first of all is the difference between a hop and a spring. A hop stays on one leg, and a spring changes to the other foot. Just like in the warm-up, when we're jumping, we want to keep our knees bent and it's just the balls of our feet that we're bouncing on. Because otherwise then we get lots of extra sounds as we're landing. And what we want is just a nice, clean, crisp beat. So, all we're going to do to begin with is we're going to practice our hop and our spring. We're going to do it nice and slowly and then build up the speed. So we'll start on one leg, knees nice and soft. So we'll take a hop and then we're going to spring. And then we're going to hop and then we're going to spring. Bend your knees, lift your foot up. So we're going to hop and spring. Faster. Hop and spring and hop and spring and hop and spring and hop and spring. Hop, spring, hop, spring, hop, spring, hop, spring. Now we're going to add a shuffle, which is what we learnt earlier in the lesson, before the hop and the spring. So we're slowly starting to piece together what's called a single time step. So, feet together. Remember that a shuffle starts at the back and we're going to brush our foot forwards and backwards. Leave that leg in the air as we take our hop, so we stay on the same leg. And then we're going to spring onto the other leg. And then it starts all over again. Forwards, backwards, stay and swap. Forwards, backwards, stay and swap. Forwards, backwards, hop, spring. Let's go with the music. Bending your knees, lift up your foot. Forwards and backwards, hop and spring. Forwards, backwards, hop, 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 spring. We're now going to take our time steps at a quicker speed. So we're going to go forwards, backwards, hop, spring. Forwards, backwards, hop, spring. Forwards, backwards, hop, spring. Forwards, backwards, hop, spring. And then we're going to take it to the correct tempo, but with a little pause in the middle. So it goes shuffle, hop, spring, wait, 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 wait. Shuffle, hop, spring, wait. And shuffle, hop, spring, wait. Shuffle, hop, spring. Let's give it a go with the music. Bend your knees, lift up your foot. Forward, backwards, hop, spring. Forward, backwards, hop, spring. Keep it on your toes. Nice soft knees. Forward, backwards, hop, spring. All on your toes. Now we're going to go faster. Shuffle, hop, spring, wait. Other leg, shuffle, hop, spring, wait. And shuffle, hop, spring, wait. Shuffle, hop, spring, wait. Now we're going to finish off with a cool down, and we're going to combine your cool down with a bow. So I'm just going to start off actually by teaching you the bow. So we're going to stand with our feet together. We're going to take a step to the side, and as we do, our hands are going to go out to our audience. So we're going to step to the side, feet together, and as we relax our arms, we're going to go into a bow and recovering up, and then we're going to step to the other side, hands out, close your feet together, and bow, and back up again. So for the cool down part, just follow along and then we'll all go into the bow together. Let's go with some music. And hands in front, we're just going to do some bend and stretches. Bend and stretch, and bend and stretch, and bend and stretch. Bend and stretch, and bend and stretch. Now feet apart, some nice big shoulder rolls. Roll your shoulders. And roll them backwards. And now you're going to roll them forwards. Keep your knees nice and soft. And roll them forwards. Feet together. We're just going to stretch out our calves. So you want your feet to be flat on the floor. And change to the other foot. Your back leg is straight. Your front leg is bent. Let's go into our bow. And step to the side. And feet together. And bow. And stretch, step to the side, and feet together, and bow, and stretch. I really hope that you've enjoyed today's taster of Tap for Absolute Beginners. If you keep practicing the steps in this video, next video we're going to expand on some of the steps that we've learnt today.